Hi everybody, welcome to On the Glide Slope. We're going to do a PilotEdge Alphabet Challenge flight today. It's Lake 7 of the Alphabet Challenge from Grand Canyon, which is KGCN, to H, which in this case is Lake Havasu City, KHII. We're going to fly this flight in the Cessna 182 from A2A simulations and using the Orbx SoCal scenery, which is great scenery. I really like it, and Grand Canyon, like all of their airports, is really well done. You can possibly see some people walking around by their planes. And so we are going to fly this flight, and we're going to fly with dead reckoning today. We're going to just go along the chart, no GPS, and no direct VOR navigation. There's a VOR Needles, which is near enough to Havasu City to be close enough to at least get us in striking distance. But what we're going to do is we're going to fly using the map, and we're going to use two ways to help us with our dead reckoning. One is the Peach Springs VOR, which we will set VOR2 to check into, and we'll look for it on a 130-degree radial, which means we're going to be about halfway. And then we will also set our VOR1 to Needles. When we're close enough, it should pick up, and at least with the DME, we should know how close we're getting. But other than that, we're going to just try to fly as we go. Other landmarks, just past halfway, we should fly either directly over or near the Dunton private airport. And other than that, there's nothing else that's too special. We've got no specific airspace we need to worry about. Grand Canyon is Class D, and we will be controlled leaving Grand Canyon when we start. But then after that, it's straight through to Havasu, and Havasu is Class Echo airfield with no controlled airspace, so we'll just be making CTAF calls when we get there. And we're off to the races. I haven't quite decided if I'll get flight following services from PilotEdge or not yet. We'll see. It usually makes things more interesting as we go, at least to hear the traffic and know that there's somebody looking out for you. And I probably will fly this flight without autopilot. I may lock in for altitude just to make it easy, but relatively short flight. So I don't know that I like flying with autopilot right now. I kind of like getting used to flying direct with my hands, but we'll see. Estimate time en route, 1 minute or 1 hour 17 minutes. That's a bit longer, but again, we've got a 14-knot headwind, which is part of what's going to make this interesting for us. So we'll get with our checklist, presume that we've done our walk around, so it's time to start things up. Carburetor heat is off. Mixture is rich. Prop is set to high RPM. Throttle open 1/2 inch. Prime with the fuel pump for a few seconds. Battery and alternator on. Fuel pump till we get some good fuel flow. Turn on our beacon lights and our strobe. We would call clear, and then we would try to start the aircraft. There we go.
Runway 15 Juliet Golf, you ready to taxi?
Yep, have the weather ready to go. VFR Southwest with advisories, please.
November 15 Juliet Golf, roger. Departure frequency 124.85, squawk 7341.
124.85, squawk 7341 for 15 Juliet Golf, and that is 21, runway 21.
15 Juliet Golf, runway 21, taxi via Alpha, Papa Bravo.
Papa Bravo to 21 for 15 Juliet Golf, thanks so much.
Tower Delta
1800 RPMs. Temperature's good, pressure's good, amp is good, vacuum's good, we have gas positive fuel flow.
Yeah, 2006.
Magneto check.
It's showing
Right.
17,100.
Drop.
I cannot use that for any instructions.
Left.
You can make that
drop.
decision on your own. But
Propeller,
we're
we'll
going to work
cycle it.
something out here in just a second for you, Stan.
It's working the way it's supposed to.
And flight 1931, traffic is 10 o'clock, 2 miles.
Back
in
down.
The pattern there, left pattern for the 15 left.
We'll calm and we'll tell them that we're ready to go. Flaps down, rudder trim is set.
1931.
Okay, we'll switch the tower, which is 119.1.
Clip takeoff.
5 Alpha Hotel.
Grand Canyon Tower, Skyline 15 Juliet Golf is at runway 21 at Bravo, ready to go.
15 Juliet Golf, Canyon Tower, runway 21, cleared for takeoff, straight out departure blue, wind 200 at 18, gust 26.
Clear for takeoff, runway 21, straight out departure 15 Juliet Golf. Thanks for the wind.
Piper 83680, contact departure.
Okay, so we're ready to go.
Switching departure 680.
Park and break up.
Center Tower, 1 kilo runway, field left downwind, 15 left.
1 kilo Romeo, runway 15 left, cleared for the
Got a pretty good gust coming on us.
turbulence traffic.
198 should be pretty close into us. Look and make sure there's nobody coming.
Double check that there, but he's on short final runway 15.
For the option, and we'll watch him. 15 left, 1 kilo Romeo.
Amflight 1931, aircraft.
Metro 3, Amflight 1931.
Say.
A Metroliner, Swearingen Metroliner 3.
All right.
Amflight 1931, thank you.
Let's go flying.
Aztec 83680, SoCal departure, radar contact, flight heading 130, climbing 7000.
Airspeed is alive.
Got 217 Sierra, SoCal departure, radar contact, confirmed climb via SID to 15,000.
70.
9788, contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
80. Rotate. There we go.
Ramona ground,
5 Alpha Hotel, flighting 150, John Victor 27, zoom on navigation, advise you have Santa Barbara west.
Departure Skyline 15 Juliet Golf is 7,900, climbing 8,500.
1 kilo Romeo, runway 15 left, clear for the option. 15 Juliet Golf, Los Angeles Center, identity. Sky. Sky 5 Juliet Golf, radar contact 3 miles southeast, correction southwest Canyon, Grand Canyon view.
Radar contact 15 Juliet Golf, thanks.
SoCal departure cleared, direct Seal Beach, climb maintain 13,000.
So what's interesting is in the sim right now I can really feel the winds. The airplane is barely moving. Feels like it at least. It's
5 Alpha Hotel, thank you. Cross Gaviota.
moving around quite a bit.
Crushing Cross Gaviota
Feels
at 6,000.
slow.
Cleared ILS 27 approach altimeter.
Okay, so we are flying out over the open desert. Now there are some creeks here which I can see. That creek is on my map and we're just about where we should be for it. And I can see that road over there, which comes out of Grand Canyon. So if we're headed on 215, we're probably about the right heading.
At 3 Sierra property back.
Okay, so
788 heavy.
one landmark here is on the map. I can see a big piece of the Grand Canyon sticking out.
At maintain 7,000 at 210 knots.
Which,
then fly heading 070.
the South Supai Canyon.
Right approach.
And I can see it out of that window there, so we're at least in the right direction. And when we cross over that, we'll be in about the right place on the right heading. So far so good. We're a little above our altitude here, so we'll clean it down a little bit and keep making our way. Okay, we're getting trimmed in pretty well here for our cruise. We've passed
Air 2006 taxi to terminal via Whiskey.
the Supai Canyon, and we're still generally on our track. One thing I've noticed, and I remember from the last flight in this area, is that Peach Springs VOR doesn't show up with the correct radio
788 heavy contact
frequency.
approach 124.9.
So instead we're going to do the Kingman VOR, which is 108.8. So I'll move that to nav.
1 kilo Romeo verified, squawking 3204. 3204.
108.8, and we should start to pick that up on VOR2 if it's accurately reading it. And again, it should still be about 200 or 130 degrees would be the VOR radial that we track on, so
At 788 Heavy,
See how that
SoCal
goes.
approach after Santa Monica, descend and maintain 5,000, reaching 5,000, reduce speed to 180, Vector Island.
Right.
There are 503 Sierra Papa, Ramona ground runway 27, taxi via Alpha.
Now I can see out there, there's a power line rendered. We'll see if it's in my charts.
37 Lima, taxi to parking via Bravo this
It
street.
is.
Have a good day.
I see where we're supposed to cross that power line, and we have.
Skyline 1 Kilo Romeo, proceed direct to the numbers, runway 15 left, clear to land, traffic, Cirrus, touching down,
So
runway
we're
7.
on about the right route. And I can see this road that goes away from us is on my chart.
Cirrus 5, Victor Sierra, traffic, Skyline 1 mile final for runway 15 left.
So far, so good.
Cirrus 5, Victor Sierra, thank you.
We're cruising along based on where we should have crossed that
That was 2532, reback climb.
power line. That puts us about, oh, I'd say 40 miles out of Grand Canyon. Now we could just backtrack on the Grand Canyon VOR and know where we were along the route. But I want to see if we can pick up that cross radial from Kingman. So we are cruising along. We're a little high, but according to our route, we should fly right over that peak. And those high peaks to the right, our right or left, will be Mount Floyd. And so even if we're just dead reckoning, that's about the right direction and the right landmark. It shows up at being 68.8. So we should have a
Skyline 1 Kilo Romeo, where you park?
couple thousand feet of clearance over it.
Skyline 1 Kilo Romeo, taxi signature via Bravo Charlie, hold short, runway 7.
But we'll eyeball it because we obviously don't want to risk having the wrong barometric pressure and running into the side of it because we were lazy. Okay, we're coming up to our next landmark, which is Dunton Airfield,
If you don't have the updated scenery, you can use Victor.
which I think we can see right in front of us, although that could be Seligman. And the way to check is to see if Seligman has VASI or PAPI lights. We'll check. Seligman has 2 light PAPI on both runways. And Dunton does not. So that's going to be Seligman, and it's going to tell us that we're going about, oh, let's see, we should be about, according to the map, maybe 10 miles west of it, and that looks like about the right course. So we're in about the right
Piper 680.
place, and if that's correct, we've got about 80 miles to go, and
Piper 680, roger, expect
Kingman VOR has given us 89, so we're about on the right
503 Sierra Papa,
path and in about the right
on the
place.
ground. Roger, have your clearance in just a minute. Stand by.
Okay, we're coming up to that next landmark, Dunton Airfield, which
2532, runway 24 left, cleared for takeoff. Wind at
this highway also takes us right to. And I should pass by Cross Mountain
Yeah, 788 heavy, hold short, runway 24 left.
on my left, and another bit of mountains on my right, and also the power lines run through here. I can see the power lines down there. Dunton is probably just a dirt strip, and it may be hard to see. But we're in the right place, and I can tell from the power lines and the highway, which are crossing each other, that I'm in the right place. That beep is the master caution. It's beeping because it thinks we're going too fast. I have it set for 120 knots, and that setting is for the 172. The speed for the 182 is closer to 140. But if you're curious as to what that beeping is, that's what it is.
628 go.
Okay, I believe we're over our next landmark, which is Highway 91, and where the power lines come up and
2532
cross the main highway,
3.55.
which it looks like that's about where we are. And if that's the case, We should be coming into the Hualapai Mountains here pretty soon, which are these in front of us. We're going to go right over the Wabayuma Peak Wilderness area. We're going to fly, if we're on track, between one peak that's at 76 and another one that's at 72.
2532, Los Angeles Center, Clementine, follow 3.
That looks like it's about right in front of us. But we're going to go over that, and then we should have...
Skyline 5 Julie Golf, bullhead altimeter 2992.
Bullhead 2992, thanks for that, 15 Julie Golf. So he just gave me the altimeter for Bullhead, which is the closest major airport.
40, so maintain 4,000.
So now we can adjust our altitude, which is good because we can do that before we are too low or too high to run in these mountains. So right now we're reading 9,000.
Make that heading 110.
9100, which is too high. I wanted a little bit. But if we back down to 2992 now, our altitude will actually drop. To 89. So 300 feet, nothing to shake a stick at. But we'll still descend down here to 85 as per our flight plan.
No wind information available.
So that was a nice courtesy by the controller to do that. You know, he's keeping tab on me, which is great, and giving me weather, at least the barometer as we go. And then the next contact that I'll need to have with him is when I have Laughlin, or when I have Lake Havasu City in sight, which means I'm about 10 miles out. I'll call him and tell him that, and then he'll release me. I'll switch to squawking VFR on my transponder, and I'll switch over to the Havasu City ATIS frequency, or the CTAF frequency, I'm sorry, which is 122.7. Havasu City doesn't have any weather, I don't believe. It does, actually. 2993, wind is 110 to 190, variable at 6 to 18. So now's a good time to be thinking about approach. It says right pattern into 14. If the wind is coming at 110 to 190, that's what we'll do. So we'll fly a right pattern into 14, which means I'll cross over the airfield and make right-hand turn into, I'll make a little paperclip loop. Left-hand turn, so I enter the pattern from a 45-degree angle, and then we'll make right into 14. Pattern altitude is 1800. Okay, full disclosure, I wasn't quite where I thought I was. I was one valley too early. So we're about 40 miles out. All I need to do is look at the DME equipment to realize that. Now we are over the highway 93.
Altitude 17 Sierra SoCal.
Stretch.
Correction, NorCal approach, expect ILS running 28 left
And
approach.
it's power lines.
Altimeter 2.
And this is the ridge that we should be crossing. And I think we are probably too far south, but it's hard to know. Can't quite tell which road we're passing. Now, if that is the Wickiup Road, then we're a bit too far south, which is probably the wind. I didn't adjust enough for the wind. But that means we would be almost due east of Laughlin, or Lake Havasu City, I apologize. So I think that's the case, based on how these mountains peter out here, and that the high peaks are up there. So I'm actually going to make a turn to about a bearing of about 245 degrees.
592 Charlie Victor, Long Beach clearance. Cleared to Santa Barbara Airport on departure, fly runway heading until 800 feet, then fly heading 270. Red vectors Los Angeles, as filed. Maintain 3000, expect 8000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 4026.
I think I see this creek and canyon on the chart. So if we are where I think we are, we're going to pop up over these mountains. I'm well over my altitude here of 10,000, or of 8,500. which I should probably tell the controller if I'm a little higher, a little lower.
Cover 2 Charlie Victor, read back correct, confirm your turboprop, correct?
He's got a little too much to worry about, and I know there's no traffic in the area. But normally if you're going to make
2 Charlie Victor, Roger,
make a big altitude change with advisories, you'd let them know.
Make your turn at 1,500 feet.
But we're probably okay here. The DME is saying we're about 38 miles from the Needles VOR. It's about right. I can adjust the course heading and it'll give us a bearing to the Needles VOR. So bearing for Needles is about 245, about the bearing we're on. So yeah, we're right about where I thought we were. Now we can correct our heading back. Okay, I want to start getting ready with this ATIS, or the CTAF for Havasu City, which is going to be 122.7. The field inside.
So with 2532, contact Oakland Center 133.7.
Okay. Okay, so we're about 20 miles out of Havasu City now. This is Crossman Peak, and it's just on the other side. Havasu City is just on the other side of it. You can actually see the lake and the Colorado running through here.
It has a 2-on-1 camera ground.
I was about maybe 5 miles south of my original course, but Crossman is a good landmark, and if we fly just a little bit over it, we should see the field pretty quickly, and then we should be able to make our call to move to the common frequency and leave our friends here. So we've wandered up to 11,000 feet here, in part by accident, but also in part because I wanted to get a little better visibility. And I can definitely see Havasu Lake now. So we are and should be flying just about right at the field, given what I see.
That's 201.
So we're going to begin our descent.
Ground, clear to Burbank Airport on departure flighting 275.
Right, start running that.
054 radial.
Start running that checklist.
Maintain 4,000. Expect 5,000 100 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 127.
Approach 15 Juliet Golf, 9,500. We have Havasu in sight.
5 Juliet Golf, radar service terminated. Squawk via frequency change approved. No traffic observed near the airport. You do have one target, 3 o'clock and 8 miles, same direction. Altitude indicates 10,000. Descending, type unknown. He's most likely heading into that area.
We have traffic. Keep an eye on him, and we'll squawk VFR. And thanks for your help.
See. 503 Sierra Papa.
Okay, we're getting pretty close here to being at final pattern altitude, so we're going to do our forward final checks. Fuel selector is set to both. Mixture is rich. Prop is high RPM. Cowl flaps are closed. Carburetor heat, full heat. And we'll deal with our trim. Okay, so we're coming down close to 1800, which is our pattern altitude. That traffic landed at Havasu, and we called on the CTAF that we were going to overfly the strip and then make right traffic into 14, which is what we're going to do. City 200 at 14. So I've set the heading bug to 200, which will help me see where my wind is coming from, and I've set my course indicator to 14, which will help me see and visualize the approach runway, and with that I'll be able to see my crosswind. It'll also help me understand what the wind's doing to me as I'm flying my downwind and base legs. Okay, when we get over the lake here, we'll make our turn. As I make this turn, our ground speed is going to increase quite a bit. And I don't want to go below pattern altitude either. Havasu traffic, 15 Juliet Golf is entering downwind right for 14, Havasu. Okay, I think this is about right. Yeah, we're about midfield. And now our ground speed has really picked up, so we're going to drop off the throttle a little bit, get down to 1800 RPMs, or 1800 feet. Turn in here so that we are on our downwind leg. Looks like the earth comes up to us a little bit here, so we got to be careful about that. Okay, so there we are, and the wind is blowing me toward the field, so I got to fly this way. Crab away from the field. Okay, we're at the numbers. We're below 120. We'll put in a notch of flaps. Now again, I can't see behind me, so I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be at 45 degrees from the field, so I'll take a little more room rather than less. Start to descend slowly, a couple hundred feet per minute. I can really feel the wind working against me. As we turn here, my ground speed's going to pick up, so I got to be ready for that too. I'll err on the side of taking a longer final than not. Havasu traffic, 15 Juliet Golf, turning onto base leg for right, 14, Havasu. Okay. I'm just going to let the wind take me around here pretty much. Now, and I may just turn straight to the numbers. I don't know how much of a base leg I'll fly with the wind. Let's see where the field is real quick. Put in a notch of flaps while we're at it. Okay, yeah. Pretty good. We're about the right altitude based on the VASI. A little high, but that's okay. Better high than low. Trim the aircraft for descent. It's about right. About 80 knots. We want to be about 70. Havasu traffic, 15 Juliet Golf, turning on to final for 14, Havasu. So, pitch up, less throttle. So we'll slow down. Now we've got that crosswind working on us pretty good. Notch of flaps.
500.
Okay. A little high, so we'll just kill the throttle.
Wire ahead. Wire ahead.
I can't see the wire. I hope the simulator doesn't see it. There we go. Now we're trimmed where I want to be trimmed. Plenty of runway here, we'll probably use all of it. Kill the throttle. Back on the stick. Back on the stick. Grab for that crosswind. Back, 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 back. Oh, another one hopper. That wasn't so bad. Had to grab the last minute there, so I flared a little bit more than I wanted to, but we're on the ground and we're in one piece. And there's some traffic going out of here. Don't know if you can see it. Okay, so there we are, we're done. Parking brake on. Go through our checklist here at the end. Cowl flaps are done. Open those up. Wing flaps are up. Carb heat is cold. Transponder, standby lights off. Radios off. Throttle 1000 RPM. Mixture to idle cut off. Ignition off. Master off. Magnetos off. Lights off. And we're done. Thanks for listening. And look forward to a next flight with you on the glide slope.